Welcome back to Beholder to Know on a D&D podcast. Today I'm here with Kel from Awfully Queer Heroes. Hello.
Hi.
Kel and I have gotten relatively close lately because ever since I joined Awfully Queer Heroes, we've been doing a lot, and you've been doing a lot.
Yes, it hasn't really stopped, has it?
Nope, it has not. So we're just going to talk about what's going on with Awfully Queer Heroes, what's going on with Kel, and just generic D&D questions, podcasting things, stuff like that. So yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how Awfully Queer Heroes started?
So I am English. I live in Bristol. Awfully Queer Heroes started because I was bored, in essence.
Every podcast ever.
Yeah, I wanted to play D&D, and we had not long been in lockdown. So the sessions that I was trying to DM myself instantly stopped because a couple of our team had strong symptoms. So we all sort of went our separate ways, and it hasn't picked up since because we're still in lockdown in England. So yes, it started because I was immensely bored. I didn't know anyone online or anywhere that wanted to play, so I messaged a random bunch of people on Twitter and said, hey, do you want to play D&D? There was a few iterations of it, people saying yes and then not turning out to be a great match for what we had planned.
Been there?
Yeah, we had about 4 full starts, I think. And then we had the team that was streaming on Twitch, which was so much fun. I actually still immensely miss that campaign. That was the Barrymore campaign. There's still VODs of it on my Twitch channel, the Awfully Queer Heroes one. But that happened because someone had to pull out due to personal commitments, and then the DM said that actually uni was rather kicking their ass, so they needed a breather as well, and it hasn't picked up again since. It may potentially come back in a different form at some point, but for now, that's off the table. So I was like, okay, cool. What do I do now? Started putting together the group that we currently had. I know that Jamie was massively interested in joining us because we'd spoken about that a few times across the Barrymore campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I met a bunch of people on the Discord server that are absolutely amazing. So once again, I invited a bunch of people that this time I at least kind of knew, because you and I had spoken once or twice before I invited you to Awfully Queer Heroes, same as Marty. Adam, I think we'd maybe spoken twice, but I like to think I'm a reasonably good judge of character, and the team is amazing. I love them to pieces. So yeah, I just invited everyone again to play more D&D, and it took a little while because obviously Jamie got sick, and then they were starting to come back, and we had some ups and downs. And now we're recording the Uncaged series while Jamie takes some more time to recover properly from COVID, and it's brilliant.
For those who don't know, I am DMing the Uncaged series, and it's an anthology that is on DM's Guild. I will make sure the links are down below. Or Greg, I guess, will make sure the links are down below. But there are 4 volumes, and all of the stories are individually written, and they focus on females in mythology, but they're not in the way that you would think. Like, normal D&D games are like, go fight the monster, go kill the bad guy. These ones are like, help the monster, because the monster really isn't that bad of a person in quite a few of them. Not all of them, mind you, but I really liked that aspect of it, where it was just like, oh, well, maybe the Medusas just misunderstood. Maybe they just want really to have a conversation, and this, I don't know if that's even one, but that would be hilarious if like a Medusa just wanted a conversation. Just keep your eyes closed. I don't want to turn you to stone. I just need to vent.
I actually, that's really amusing that you say that, because in one of the Kickstarters, my NPC is a Gorgon who doesn't like accidentally turning people to stone, so wears a blindfold.
Nice.
Yeah, I felt that monsters were really underrated and got a bad rep for no particular reason. So I've written a lot of monster style NPCs.
I was really excited. Like, I was nervous about it, and I remember when you were like, okay, does anybody want to do X? Should we do this? Should we do that? Should we do whatever? I put it out there because I want to work on building up my confidence for DMing on stream. or on not stream, on recording, because I've only done one shot since now. Like all of the things I've recorded have obviously I've been recording discussions and I've been in player in multiple games, but I've only recorded 3 or 4 one-shots prior to me joining Awfully Queer Heroes as a DM.
There's me. Hey, half the deep end. Congratulations.
Which I don't mind. Like I love DMing. It was just like the nervousness of I think the nervousness of maintaining the story and like the lore of things, which is why I was like, oh, I'm going to do a module type setting.
I think it's been amazing, honestly. You've done so awesomely with it, especially with me like, hey, are there books? Can we have books?
There is an amazing website, guys, that if you have a player that's just like that, you can find very easily a random book generator. Which is exactly what I did. And then some of them were like very useful and some of them are just random. Let's see. Actually, I'll generate one right now. You find a recently written religious doctrine entitled Holy Commandments of Divinity, Religion in General. The book is written bodies of teachings of a specific religious organization. This book is leafed through but otherwise good condition, written in common, and smells horrible. It's worth 35 gold and has 829 pages.
I'm going to take that one because I need to leaf through it and pretend to Jamie that I'm genuinely religious.
Well, too bad that wasn't in game.
Damn it!
But this, for the people who are not aware, this is dndspeak.com. So the link is down below. And it just randomly generated 3 books.
Nice.
One, actually, we ended up using to get Marty their subclass, I believe.
Oh, nice.
So, like, it ended up being useful. And one was like, you gain proficiency in a skill. And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Why not?
That works.
Exactly.
Nice.
I love random tables. They're so fun.
Yes, they have been a godsend to me. I will not deny. Absolutely amazing.
I have to share this it's about a random table. My husband in our Monday game, he decided that he wanted to mix some things and make a random potion to be like a scientist-esque type of character. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you're just making a random potion? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, like roll me a D100.
Yeah. And
I found a table and he drank it and he turned into a lizard folk permanently.
Permanently?
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
So now he thinks that there's a reason for it and he's trying to talk to all the lizards to guard his home, but he doesn't realize that they don't understand him.
Because it wouldn't give him the language, even though he's physically changed.
Pretty much, but also lizards are different than lizard folks. They have their own language. Yeah. Lizards don't speak. You have to have animal or talk with animals or speak with animals. But he doesn't know that, so he just has a full conversation with them in common. And I had him roll an animal handling check, and some of them decided to stay because he was feeding them.
Fair.
They're not doing anything.
They're just laying there enjoying the sunshine.
Pretty much.
Nice.
But yeah. So, do you want to mention the stream that might be happening? Is that happening?
So, yes, we have a stream going on, a D&D stream from Aldrich Academy. We're working together. They are former members of a different Twitch channel where something happened. I don't know the details, but they wanted to start different streams. They have one on their own channel, which is Aldrich Academy on Twitch, and 2 actually on Awfully Queer Heroes. They stream at the same time every week on Saturdays. I think GMT-wise it's 1 a.m. I don't know what time that makes it central. It might be 2 a.m. I have to check the details on that one, sorry. But they alternate the campaigns each week. So one week it is the fall of... Hang on a second. The Fall of Pillion. And the other week it is the Andoria campaign.
Very nice.
Yeah, so those 2 will also be coming to podcasts. I'm going to release the first few of those, not as heavily edited as our sessions are, because it's literally pulling the audio from a Twitch channel, which doesn't work amazingly. We're making it nicer, putting music behind it and stuff. We're going to be releasing at least the first 4 episodes of Awfully Queer Heroes Uncaged Anthology on the 14th of next month, as well as at least 2 each of the episodes from Aldrich Academy, The Fall of Pilion, and Andoria campaigns. So there'll be 3 different campaigns that we're releasing on podcast on the same day, with between 2 and 4 episodes per campaign.
Awesome. Are each going to have their own Anchor.fm channel? I
have no idea what that is. They're all going to be under the Awfully Queer Heroes section. So under Awfully Queer Heroes, they'll have. I'm listing them differently. So one will say Anthology, Uncaged Anthology Episode 1. One will say Fall of Pilion Episode 1.
So it'll be one podcast with all 3 stories on it, like I do my Beholder to No One.
Yeah, I don't entirely know how Anchor works, so I'm just fudging it as I go.
No, you're fine. Mostly I was asking, there are times where people will do like, oh, this is a show, so because Anchor is free, they'll do, I have an anchor for this show, I have an anchor for this show, I have an anchor for this show. It's 3 separate podcasts, one for each show. For my show, I don't use Anchor personally, but for my show, I have all 3 shows on one.
Yeah, I will be doing the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, so that's mainly what I was asking. I will say, if once they're on Spotify, make a Spotify playlist. Makes life so much easier.
Gotcha. As it's theirs, I'll do one for Awfully Queer Heroes. For Aldrich Academy, I'll let them do that because it will. Oh no, it'll all be under my account, won't it? Yeah, never mind. I'm just talking shit.
You mean the Spotify link, or?
Yeah.
Anybody can make a Spotify playlist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I absolutely knew that. Of course I knew that. Yep. It's perfectly fine.
That's what I ended up doing because there are people who listen to this show that like just want to listen to discussions or just want to listen to the one shots or whatever, and that's fine. But if you're just wanting to listen to one thing, you have to like skip through 2 episodes to get to what you want to listen to. So on Spotify, there's the ability to make a playlist, and then you can add things to the playlist. So I have one for Clearlight, I have one for one shots, and I have one for discussions. So if somebody's like, oh, I'm interested in your discussions, here you go. Here's a playlist. It'll update.
Got you.
You have to remember to update it, but other than that, it'll update.
Oh, nice. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have used Spotify. I do use it like during the day, but I rarely make playlists, and I just play other people's.
Yeah, I never did before that.
Yes.
I'm just like, listen to music, Linkin Park radio every day, all the days.
It's a good choice. I'm not going to argue with that one.
How do you know how old Nikki is? She listens to Linkin Park.
It's good 90s music. Can't argue with that. I won't go into the 80s music that I occasionally like listening to. So
I know that with Uncaged, that's going on for about 3-ish months.
Yes.
And then hopefully we will be moving to Jamie's story.
Yes.
I don't know how much we want to go into detail about that, but it's up to you.
Jamie's world is still being edited at the moment, so it's a Polynesian series of islands, but it's being edited because while Jamie has the approval to write about Polynesian issues and characters and things like that, as a bunch of white folk, it was obviously agreed that we wouldn't be playing natives. So we're going to have it start in either a homebrew D&D-esque type world and then move to Jamie's as external type characters for whatever reason. We might get sucked there, we might get sent there, we might get pulled there, however it works, but we wouldn't be treading on any toes by accident, which is something that's very important to all of us. But it looks amazing. Jamie's put a hell of a lot of work into it. It's been really, really well done. There's tweaks to make so that we can do it as non-natives, but it looks like it's going to be absolutely brilliant. I don't think she's working on it at the moment while she's still recovering from COVID.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
She's got plenty of time. But yeah, it'll be about 3-ish months that we're doing your Uncaged adventures. anthology even, sorry. And then working towards that one. And in the meantime, somewhere around there, we're also going to start the Tower series, which is the one that I'm making. I don't know how far we'll go into that. We may only do a couple here and there for playtest reasons, but I suppose it depends how well it's received or anything. But that's being written at the moment, so yeah.
You have a lot of things being worked on in the moment.
I have so many things. I mean, I literally turned to look at my list of projects that's literally stuck to the wall next to me, and I just thought there's 3 that aren't on there. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 10 things in process at the moment.
I know that you just had a successful Kickstarter.
Yes, thank you.
And that was one where you made a bunch of maps along with some other people. You all made a bunch of maps that are amazing.
Thank you. Yours is in the post, by the way.
Yeah, I got maps coming.
Hell yeah.
And you currently have... What did you discover if the Kickstarter was going to be going?
Yes, the Kickstarter starts on Tuesday, the 23rd. So that will be live at the moment and going on until the 14th of April, 2021.
And what is this Kickstarter for?
That is... what is this Kickstarter for? Well, that's a big question. This Kickstarter wasn't actually supposed to exist. While I'm working with someone on Twitter, their account is The Grinning Frog, and they have done some absolutely amazing works. I was looking for someone to help out, maybe give me some pointers, and instead this person has become a full equal business partner with me in all of my ventures because the guy is a genius. And I do not say that very often about many people of any sex or orientation. This dude is a freaking genius. So we started working on the tower, which is due roughly July.
Mm-hmm.
And I created a pantheon. I've got about 60 subclasses. There's so many unique NPCs. Every single monster is brand new. There's nothing wizards in it whatsoever. And we were talking a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, Kel, this is really bugging me, because I'd written a kind of intro that needed expanding on reasonably. Quite a bit, if I'm honest. I'd literally put, they get teleported, and that was my intro. There was a line. And I was going to come back to it, but he was like, no, Kel, this is really eating me. Because one of the biggest things that as a DM, both he and I have, and other people have said to us as well, but it's, how does an adventure start? Why is it nearly always, hey, you meet at a tavern? Because it's the easiest thing. And we didn't want with this, because it's a contained area to a degree. There are ways out of it, but I won't spoil that. But when somewhere has no doors, no windows, and can't be scaled in any way, shape, or form, how do they get in? So he was like, right, Kel, we have to do an extra Kickstarter, push everything back 2 months, and we're going to write an intro adventure. I was like, okay, we're doing this, fine, all right then. And that's literally how this one that starts on Tuesday the 23rd has come about, because we needed an intro adventure to introduce the towers, introduce the world, certain settings, certain walls and things like that. And yeah, that's how this one came about. But then after this is the Pantheon and the 60 odd subclasses. The tower has become so large because we're doing 20 odd adventures with it that we can't actually do it in one Kickstarter, because if we print it, it's too heavy to post.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had to split that into 2 parts. So the first part's in July, hopefully. The second part's expected in September. Then we've got all the magic supplements, because we're going to sort of put it together if someone doesn't want to necessarily buy the other parts, they can say, great, here's all the magic spells, all the magic items, all the magic gumph that we have created. So if you just want the magic part, great, there it is. We've got an NPC part and a monsters part. So we've given those in case folks don't want to join in with the rest, but they do want magic or they do want NPCs, so they don't have to figure one up. They can just like whip them out of a book kind of thing. And yeah, we've got ones going till July next year.
Nice.
Assuming nothing gets put back.
Very, very busy.
Yes. It doesn't stop. It doesn't. But that's if everything sticks to schedule, then it will be about July that we finish, I think.
July 2022.
July 2022, yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited to try, because I'm sure we're going to have a test run of the intro.
Yeah.
Though it probably won't be recorded, just be for fun, but I'm excited to try it one day.
The intro is what we're doing on Wednesday 24th. That is that one. I know you can't make that one.
One day on a Saturday. I'm excited to try it.
I will rerun it at some point, though it may probably not be recorded. But this one is a playtest, so that we can see if things need tweaking, if there's something that we haven't written out right.
Mm-hmm.
So once it's all nice, finished and polished, then we can do another run on a Saturday when it's all smooth sailing. Yeah.
Awesome.
And you definitely have a seat, of course.
As long as it's on a day I can record, I will be there. Or a day I can play, I will be there. One issue we've been running into is there are so many time zones in our group.
Oh, there is, isn't there? And we've got 2 in UK, 1 in what accounts to Mountain Time, but isn't. 1 in... What's the West Coast time?
Pacific.
What's that one called? West Pacific, thank you. So West Pacific and then your East Coast?
Yep.
Yeah, and in a couple of the one-shots that I've done, we've also had people from further over into Europe, so they're further ahead in time with me, and we've been trying to juggle everything from West Coast to Eastern Europe, and it's like, oh, this is getting tight.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times where I've been recording with people who are 12 plus hours ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, oh, okay, how do I make this work? And it usually is like, we have to record Friday night, Saturday night for me, which is Saturday, Sunday morning for them.
Yeah.
So that we can both be on like a normal schedule and I'm not staying up too late and they're not getting up too early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting juggling act at times.
It's worth it.
It is. I think we have an amazing team.
Yeah, and we get to play with some amazing people that, like, in Awfully Cool Heroes, I love everybody that's on there. I've become really great friends with a couple of people. Mostly the cast, like all of the cast members.
We just chat shit all day long.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited because with the story that eventually will happen, we've already started working on characters. I am so excited for my character.
Yep.
It's not even funny how excited for my character I am.
It's one of 2 characters, and I don't remember which character it is. I think I was going with the half dragon, half drow, which should be immense fun. But I also had a half orc, half drow. Oh, that's the one that I'm playing in yours at the moment, so it can't be that one.
So it
must be the dragon drow. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Mine is a Furbolg Grung character.
Grung, they're the teeny tiny people, like frog type people, aren't they?
Frog people.
Okay, a Furbolg Grung. Interesting.
And I'm so excited. And then Marty will be playing my character's half brother.
I was going to say, weren't you 2 meant to be siblings?
Yes. So Marty will be a Furbolg halfling. We have the same mother. Evidently, our mother had a thing for small people or small humanoids. But we're like, the story is just so cute. It's not even funny. Which I'll give a small thing, but basically, my character has poisonous skin, which is a grung ability, and we used an elf and an orc had a little baby book for the half creatures. I did at least. And so did Marty. I don't know if you did. I think you found a homebrew one, didn't you?
Yeah, I found one on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, so Marty and I used that book specifically to create our characters. And I was like, well, poisonous skin would sound really annoying, but it would also be kind of fun. What if? And then, like, their character is a stout halfling, which has immunity or resistance to poison. So we're like, what if the immunity that you gained was because we hugged so much as children? And you just gotta, we are assuming that that's why you have it. We don't think it's because of who your father was. So it just was super cute. And I'm just like, it's going to be interesting because she's not, like, she wants to help people and not hurt people, which a lot of the characters that I'm playing in the future are characters who don't want to run up and punch and run up and hit and attack, which is my normal. So I'm testing myself with all of these new characters that are not gonna fight first and ask questions later. I think I'm going druid for her.
Okay.
So I think like she's very much, I want to help people. I want to, because I hurt people because I can't control it, kind of like rogue where you can't touch her. I want to help people to counterbalance that.
Yeah.
Is like the mind process.
I am actually trying to think as we speak of, we have this playtest on Wednesday. I have no idea what kind of character to make. Like, I know the adventure too well, so I feel like I shouldn't make my own character. I have no idea what to do.
You could randomly generate it.
I was literally like scrolled straight to the top of D&D Beyond then, like, you can do that, but then I realized you meant literally randomly generate. I've never done that.
So there's, I don't think you should just like completely use the site because it does not make a character that's cohesive. But there's like a fast character generator where you could at least get a class and a race really quickly.
Okay. That's not a bad shout.
It's 5e, right?
Yeah.
I think it's literally called fastcharacter.com. Yeah. So if you go to fastcharacter.com, look at me plugging in random crap, but
nice. Appreciate it.
You can add stuff if you want. Like you can add your gender, your level, alignment, background, race, class if you want. And they do have a they option, which is awesome.
Oh, that is cool.
And then you can pick what optional rule you want for rolling if you want. But if you like literally just want it for the race, you could just click generate character. And I just did that. I got a wood elf druid. Circle of the Forest. That was my randomly created one.
Tiefling and druid. I do know we have a druid already, so I will go with a different class, but I will take a tiefling. Never played a tiefling. Ooh.
I'll roll again and see what kind of class you get.
Tiefling. Oh god, there's variants. I'll just pick a normal tiefling.
Oh yeah, there are variances. They're fun actually. You could pick what type of devil or demon or...
Ooh. Cleric. Damn it, we have one of those too. Click to create. A fighter. Alright, I can be a tiefling fighter.
There you go.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. And then you don't have to think about it.
Yes! And I can't accidentally...
Meta.
Yeah, that's the word. Thank you. Meta.
Yeah, I think one of my friends used it for my birthday a couple of years ago. We did a level 20 one-shot.
Nice.
And he just made a level 20 character on that instead of being bothered to make an actual level 20 character. It had some flaws because it does not optimize at all. And none of his spells were very good. But for the purpose of like, oh, that's an interesting combination. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Then it was interesting.
I would have never considered tiefling before, so that's fun.
You should look at the variances though. They're a lot of fun. Basically, they offer some tweaking on what attributes you get and what magic you start with, because tieflings get a spell. So this just depends on what was the fiend, demon, or like devil that would be your parent or blood related to you. So it just tweaks it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Like if you had like succubi, then you're gonna get like charisma or something like that. But if you have something that's more strong and brutal and in your face, you might get con or strength. So it just tweaks that. It's fun to add for story flavor.
Interesting. Okay, I like it. Thank you.
You can talk about all day, every day.
Yeah, you know it.
I know some of it. And as a note, if I say anything wrong, don't correct me unless you're my friend.
I wouldn't. Nope. I'm not brave enough for that. You'll kill my character.
No, I won't. Not on purpose.
I wouldn't do that anyway, because I kind of think that's a bit rude. Like, pointing out a rule thing is one thing if you're like, are we doing... No? Okay, then. But point blank saying, you got that wrong. Nah.
I mostly meant listeners, but yeah, but because you're my friend, so you're allowed to correct me slightly.
I was just assuming, It's like, just assume across the board, that's fine.
Yeah, I have one friend who's going to listen to this, and whenever I mess up something with the Shadowrun rules, he'll be like, no. This is what it was actually. I'm like, oh, right, crap.
DM's prerogative. Yeah.
I just have a really bad memory, so I'm trying to remember all these TTRPGs in my head, and it doesn't work very well.
I can barely remember one, so I don't blame you there. I have been messing about with the D&D rules for my Tower series because there's some that bug the crap out of me. So I've just gone, nope, not doing that. I've just completely taken that rule out.
Yeah, there are some rules that in D&D that I don't like. One specifically, and I think I don't like it because I failed, but but like it doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. So counterspell and dispel magic, they only use your modifier. They do not add your proficiency to your roll.
They don't?
They do not. I did not know that until I was like rolling in a game and I was like +7 and they're like, how are you getting +7? And I'm like, because that's my spell attack. But those two spells specifically state add your spell casting modifier, not your spell casting
proficiency and modifier.
Right. Or spell casting attack roll or whatever.
That's messed up.
So it's significantly harder to do counterspell and dispel magic.
Yeah.
And I kept failing, even though I had like a +7, and then it was actually, nope, it's a +4. And I'm like, come on.
I mean, that just seems stupid to me at the best of times, not even when someone's repeatedly failing at it, that seems stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's there for a reason, and I'm sure there's like a valid explanation for it, but I was just like, really? Really?
Who was it that said something along those lines, like, I'm sure you have a good reason, but seeing as it's a stupid-ass reason, I'm electing to ignore it. Someone said that. I can't think of what it's from. It's from like a TV show or a film or something, and they said, given that it's a stupid-ass reason, I'm ignoring it, and then he just walked off. That's all I remember. Well, one of the rules that really, really bugs the living daylights out of me is...
It's Nick Fury who said it.
There we go. Fair enough. Yes, that makes sense now. One of the rules that really eats at me is the sleep rule. So... you can be burnt head to toe, have horrific third-degree burns or injuries, or, you're bleeding out and almost dead. You have 1 HP. You have a nice night's sleep of 8 solid hours, and you're perfectly goddamn fine. Drives me around the bend. It's like, no, that would take us weeks to recover from, thank you. What? No, stop it. That's irritating. So, it bugs me. It really bugs the daylights out of me. So what I've done is I've written it so that in the tower, when you start at level 1 through 5, you only have access to the first floor. And then when you do a certain amount of things that I won't say for spoilery reasons, you get access to the second floor, and then you have to do more things, and then you get access to the third floor. And each floor has its own perks and rooms, if you will, where you can do things. Perhaps a library where you can increase a study type proficiency. So you might want, if you're not proficient in history, you might want to get proficient. You could do that in the library, or you could go to the training room and get proficient in stealth. You have to spend a certain amount of time there, but each floor has a different so on the base floor you have rooms that are barely better than a prison. On the next level up, they're sort of more student rooms. Next level up, it's a bit nicer, it's a bit more plush, it's what you and I would potentially expect today, or maybe a rich person today. And then on the next level up is sort of the king or queen level or emperor level. But each one of those rooms, instead of you go to sleep, you get 8 hours worth of sleep, and that's it, you're fully healed, you get a certain amount per rest. So if you have 1 HP and you need 20 hit points to regen fully, you might need to sleep 2 or 3 nights and stay in the tower and do things there before you can then actually be fully healed. You'll get all your spells back and everything else, but you won't be fully healed until you've spent sufficient time actually resting.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was actually going to point out that there are things called lingering injuries.
Ah.
I don't believe they're technically part of D&D 5th edition specifically, because I can't find... Oh, there is a lingering injuries table. So there's a D20 in the DMG on page like 272, because I'm looking at the book right now. And you can technically, when it takes a critical hit, when it drops to 0 hit points but isn't killed, or when it fails a death save throw by 5 or more, you could potentially have the player roll on the lingering injury table.
Okay.
And there are a couple of options, but you roll a d20 and you could lose an eye, lose an arm, lose a foot, have your speed reduced because you like break your leg in some way and you gain like it doesn't heal properly. You could have internal injury.
Wow.
Broken ribs, scar, festering wound, or minor scar.
Okay. I did not know about that. I do have the DM's book, but I haven't read even a third of it, if I'm honest.
Well, that's fair. I haven't either. I was like, I think there's a thing, but I don't know if it's homebrew or if it's in the DM guide. There's also one for like massive damage, which it's an optional rule, but if a creature takes a lot of damage from like one hit, like let's say somebody casts an 8th level fireball and then crits or something. You can't crit a fireball, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Disintegrate.
Yes. Then there's a D10 table that could literally just have them drop to 0 hit points.
Wow.
Because they're just in shock, or it's just like such a huge shock to their system that they lose their turn or are stunned or whatever.
Okay. I did not know that. I've done this so that it covers everything, because I think if someone gets stabbed, it's not going to heal overnight. Like, I have been stabbed. I know that it took quite some time to heal. It took more than a week.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sort of make it super boring so that everyone has to stay in the tower for like a week or 2 while they heal. But for the most basic level, I've said that sleeping in those rooms for a full night's rest will restore 10% of the total hit points. So if your hit points are 50, you will get 5 HP restored per night that you sleep in this super low basic room. The next level up gives you 30%. So if you're by the time you reach the second level, if you've got 100 HP, you'll get 30 back per night that you stay in there. So that might be, wizards might be fine if they're staying further away to stop being squishy and they don't get hit much, but a barbarian who's right at the front, they might need 2 or 3 nights staying there before they go out on another adventure to fully heal. But that's kind of the point. I wanted people to be encouraged to stay in there so they can use the special rooms that have been created. And there's a lot of special rooms, things like a place specifically designed for artificers. I'm not certain that's the right way that you pronounce it. The people who make everything. And then there's another one specifically made for alchemists, so they can brew potions, or there's a garden where you can grow things for either of those 2 other rooms and stuff. And a separate area for just relaxing and chilling out and things. So it was kind of to encourage everyone to stay and maybe explore that. They can use a spell slot if they'd like and heal everyone up, but then that's a spell slot they don't have to go on the adventure with. So it's the pros and cons of things. So
there's something that I've seen for, not specifically, I think I've seen it for 5th edition once, but it's like a homebrew thing that's on the side that's not related to Wizards of the Coast at all. But it's a deck that is for critical fails and critical successes.
Oh.
And the critical fails are brutal in this. So these are your like lasting, lingering injuries, losing limbs type things.
Okay.
And I remember playing with it once, and I was critically hit against I believe. And we drew a card and it says melee, ranged, or magic. And depending on which one it was, you see what happened. And it was the person being attacked loses a limb, roll a d4 to determine which limb.
Ouch. Okay.
So it adds like a little bit of a like a little bit of that like oh crap feel, and like not realism per se, but just like it adds a little bit of fear that oh we can actually like be out for the count.
Yeah, there's a repercussion to our stupidity here.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of healing naturally, Shadowrun does a similar thing that you're talking about with recovering naturally.
Oh.
But it's also like you need to stay low. Like it's part of the game that you need to like stay down and keep your head under in between missions so you don't build up too much heat as well. So it's not like a bad thing if you go underground for a week or two.
Yeah.
But there's still things that could potentially happen during that week or two. But you heal pretty slowly naturally in that game. I think I had a surgery and it took me like 3 days to recover, 3 or 4 days to recover slightly enough to be like coherent.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But that was also like an extreme circumstance. So if somebody uses a medicine check on you, you can heal people a little bit faster for physical injuries. But if you do natural healing, it's like a test that you have to roll to determine, I guess, how much you heal.
Okay.
But it's not a significant amount per day. It's pretty slow.
That's cool though. Yeah, I like that because that rule in D&D does bug the daylights out of me.
Yes. The other thing is in Shadowrun, I don't know if this is specific to the game that I was playing or if it's like normal for all Shadowrun games. I'm sure my friend will tell me once he listens to this episode, but healing magic was kept hidden because if you were, I think you were called a Band-Aid, if you were found out to be a healer, then everybody would want you.
Oh.
Because you could heal people faster and they wouldn't necessarily get you based off paying you the most money. It might be like more of a unfavorable situation that you are coerced into helping them.
Yeah.
But because I think I remember I made a healer character once and I was just told, yeah, you don't tell people that. Don't mention that you do that. And if you
Never
do heal
say
somebody,
this.
never do it in public.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
I like games that do that. Like, yes, in D&D, I do enjoy the fact that overnight, cool, we're back up and let's go do it again when you're the player. But also, yes, it doesn't add a lot of realism to the story.
Yeah, and I don't want to make it like uber realistic. It's not about making it more realistic. It's just putting a consequence in to rushing headlong into something and not caring about the danger necessarily. Because I've done that many a time. I'll start a session and go in head first into something and then realize I shouldn't have done that. Oh well, I'll have a long rest and I'm fine the next day. And then I'll finish the session and be like, well, that's actually kind of annoying because I want some kind of repercussion to me being stupid and just like, haha, gung-ho! And racing headfirst into danger.
Fair. That is fair. I do agree that it would stop people from doing like the murder hoboing style, which is kind of what's happening in Frost Maiden while we're playing it. Like that game, you're not supposed to play it where you just like run in and go and attack everything because you will die.
Yep.
And there's a lot of things that have been like, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't do that. Or maybe we should do this a little bit smart, a little bit tactically. And we didn't. And I may have died. Personally, 3 times.
Oh.
I'm on my 4th character now. And we're level 4.
Okay.
But like other games, very specifically, like have a rest in between the missions, and you don't have to think about action economy. You don't have to think about how am I going to survive. there are, like, I have been guilty of being the DM that's like, okay, after the fight, you all rest and we go into the next fight because, like, I want the best chance for them.
And this is the thing, someone can take that mechanic out. It's not set in stone. Well, it's going to be written and it's going to be in there, but if a DM doesn't like it, they can change anything that they want to.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely fine. This is just me trying to, put some sanity back into it, maybe?
I get it. I think it'll be exciting.
I'm hoping so.
I would like to play it. But I also like games that have consequences. I mean, add a character, I'm just like, oh, come on, why? No, oh, damn it, I love it. But also it's like, yes, this is so exciting, but also no.
Yeah. Trust me, when I start playing it, I'm going to be like, why the fecking hell did I ever write this in? This is a ridiculous rule. Throw it out, DM.
How dare past me hurt me like this?
Exactly. Past me, curse you! And I'll be really frustrated. But at the same time, I'm so looking forward to that.
I am going to be playing Zweihander tomorrow at the time of recording this. And I'm actually really excited because that game is supposed to be really, really hard, and like it's called Grim and Perilous Adventures. Like it's healing isn't a thing really, and from what I've heard, I've never played it before, and it's difficult, and it's supposed to be darker and harder and more brutal, and I am so excited. I hope I live to see the end of the episode. But if I don't, well, I might. I might not. I'm the one that's going to run in and go hurt things. So I might not.
Yeah, you got a 75-25 against you chance there.
Yeah, it was an interesting thing. But I do like with that one, the characters are also randomly generated. You can literally just randomly roll your entire character.
Oh.
We did that and then tweaked it a little bit. Like if there's ever anything that popped up that we're like, I don't feel comfortable playing that, then we pick something else. But in certain things we didn't randomly generate, but like skin tones and gender we picked on our own and stuff like that. But I think the only thing I changed was I picked human instead of a rat race because I was just like, like, I don't really want to play it.
Yeah.
And then I think I tweaked like one other thing that wasn't like super important, but it just didn't like make sense for what
That's
was
fair.
rolling so far. And I think another player re-rolled because they got like prostitute as their profession, and they're like, nah, that's not happening. Which is completely legit. Like, go for it. So that's what we did, was just like, let's randomly roll everything, and then if you don't feel comfortable playing it, just pick something different or roll again.
Yeah.
So that adds a little bit of chaos to the game.
It's good. It helps, I think, because sometimes you can pick the exact things that you want and you can set it up exactly as you'd like, but then is there any of that chaos element of, oh crap, I have abilities that I have no idea how to use, or oh my god, I got this and I never knew that I could have that before.
Yeah.
Which is why it's going to be amazingly fun to play Tiefling now.
Yeah.
This is going to be fascinating.
So there's a bunch of different sub races. So like Beelzebub could be who your archdevil relationship is. And with that one, you get a charisma increase of 2 and intelligence increase of 1. And you learn thaumaturgy at first level instead of like whatever the normal tiefling skills are. But there's a bunch of different ones. And then that would also give you different appearances. So the stereotypical tiefling, you know what it looks like, but if you go with a different one,
then it would change it up.
You might want to change how you look based to look more like the creature that you are related to.
Amazing. That's really awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. And they also have a personality devil customization table to get your personalities.
Yeah. Happily scrolling through that now. I'm just going to minimize that in case I get distracted.
Distraction. That's how everything works in my brain.
Yep.
There's a thing. Focus. So why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and Awfully Queer Heroes?
Okay. I don't use my personal Twitter account much anymore because I'm primarily on the Awfully Queer Heroes Twitter, which is Awfully Q Heroes. Unfortunately, the Twitter naming convention didn't allow for spelling out queer and heroes at the same time, so I had to choose. On top of that, we're on Twitch, which is actually under Awfully Queer Heroes, and Kickstarter on the same. So Twitch and Kickstarter both show as Awfully Queer Heroes, and Twitter is Awfully Q Heroes. We do have a Discord. The link is on our pinned tweet, and everyone is very much welcome to pop on the server and say hi. We do have rules about being nice and no racism, homophobic stuff like that. It's a safe place that is stringently kept. I have kicked a couple of people for unpleasant remarks that weren't welcome. So please do know that you are more than welcome to come in and feel safe and welcomed.
And I will 10/10 wholeheartedly say that there is steps taken when things go wrong.
Yes.
So definitely is a safe place. And it's a lot of fun.
And we don't curtail people having views. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's not, oh, you have to be nice at all times. You can vent. We have a really good rant page that we all use quite extensively. Just, unaccepting remarks are what isn't acceptable.
Yeah, all the isms.
Mm-hmm. I think we have a good laugh there, though. There's a lot of fun that happens on the server.
Yes, very much so. And then there's also one-shots that people can say they're interested in.
Put out a call for one shot. I always ask the team first because they are the default players of Awfully Queer Heroes, but invariably there's always 2 or 3 people that are unable to make it because of times, days, things like that. So I put out on the server in interested for one shot section and just say, who's available at this time and this time? This is the game that we're looking to play. Hit me up. And yeah, we take first come, first serve. It's turned out hilariously so far.
I think I've DM'd 2 of those one-shots so far.
Yeah.
Lewd Grannies and Rainbow Island, both of which were very interesting.
So funny. So funny. Oh, wow. So funny. Yes. There was a lot of fun on them.
The Lewd Grannies one was just like, oh, that's where this is going. Okay. And then the Rainbow Island one was fun too.
That was a lot of fun. I still need to tweak that. I haven't gotten around to finishing my edits on that one.
Is that on your list of 10 things?
No, it's not actually. That's got waylaid. I know. I really
Put it as a precursor to what?
When I get 20 minutes spare, then I will work solidly on it. I'm just double checking now. I think that part of, at least one of the one-shots got lost. I'm just double checking. Okay. Yes. Unfortunately, it was actually, unless anyone else has a copy of it, then it was the Lewd Grannies one.
I only have my audio.
No, I know. When someone else was doing the audio editing for me, but life got a bit mental, they sent me what they thought would work and what they had, but they didn't include the data for it. And then they deleted all their copies. And of course, it wasn't sufficient, shall we say, to actually unfortunately work.
Word of advice, if you're using Audacity, you have to send the folder and the file, or it won't do its thing.
Sad but true. So that one, I would be more than happy to play again and re-record it because that was freaking hilarious.
There is a new one called Raunchy Pappies.
Okay. Interesting.
Just
nice.
Saying. That one involves bowling instead of bingo.
Okay. My brain cannot wrap around that at this exact moment, but I will trust you that it is fun and easy.
I can say it will be fun. I don't know if it'll be easy. I'll have to talk to Joel. Joel Stalda's the creator of both of those games. I'll have to talk to him and be like, I know you explained this to me once, but can you explain it to me again?
Just a little bit. Just a little. Yeah.
Speaking of bowling, I did see a charity stream that did literally like a bowling tabletop game for the charity stream, and they like did a bunch of they basically did like the finales type thing where it was like 2 groups against each other, and whoever won went up against the next person, whoever won went up against the next person.
Nice, okay.
And they used just a D12 system, I think it was. And if it was an 11 or 12, it was a gutter. And if it was 1 through 10, that determined how many pins you hit.
Okay.
And you rolled twice unless you got a 10 on the first one, which was a strike. But if you got a 10 on the second one, it was a spare. But otherwise, you just got the points, which obviously could have added up to 18 points instead of up to 10 points. So it was a little off, but it was really intriguing. And I was like, how is this going to be funny or interesting? But they made it work, and it was so hilarious listening to it, especially because when people were donating, that would either give boosts to players or it would give negatives to other teams, or you could make something happen. And like, you could also try to cheat, but if you got caught, then you could get disqualified. If you got caught X amount of times. But it was just so freaking funny. And I think at some point someone donated enough for chaos to happen, and then they were shooting towards the sun, and there was only enough room for one group of bowlers to eject from the spaceship that they were magically.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but I am laughing so hard.
That does sound pretty cool.
Anyway, so thank you so much for joining and changing the day for recording to the day prior. I appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. Very much appreciate it.
Everybody go check out Awfully Queer Heroes and Kel and all the descriptions and Kickstarters and details down below. If you enjoy some of the stuff that I do or DM, I am DMing, like Kel said earlier, over there for Uncaged Anthology. And you can hear me be awkward, but also hear 3 rogues and a paladin try to trick each other through a series of a bunch of episodes. In the most interesting way.
Where we constantly forget what lies we've told.
Yep.
And then tell the opposite lie.
Pretty much. You can also check out their Twitch streams and watch the streams on Saturdays, or if you want, you can watch occasionally. Kel will also stream random games on there, so go check that out too. As for me, if you want to, you can find me on Twitter at BeholderToNoOne. You can also soon keep an eye out for Sound Control at Sound Control TTRPG or Sound Control RPG on Twitter, where I have a new podcast, and there will be a new show starting soon. So keep an eye out on that. I will have the link there in the description below too. And you can come and join us as you meet my new character and found family over there. And I'm so excited to start showing information as I start to get it. If you like this show and you want more, you can also join us on Thursdays. Every other week we play either a one-shot for Beholder to One-Shot, which are normally TTRPGs, non-D&D games, or you can join us for our currently Clearlight actual play, which is getting intense. Yeah, it's getting intense. Episode 15 was a doozy, but I hope you are enjoying everything. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.